Hello, Nils. In this English assignment, I have chosen to present it with a PowerPoint that I have made, and also want to talk about three topics that I will mention in this PowerPoint and in this text. And the three topics are anthropomorphic animals, archetype, and the everyman. So yeah, that is what I'm going to talk about in this English assignment. So let me just get started. Anthropomorphic animals. And anthropomorphic, what is that exactly? The anthropomorphic animals is actually a word in Greek, and the word means human shape. So in stories like Winnie the Pooh, all the animals we meet here in the stories are anthropomorphic. Winnie, Eeyore, Rabbit, and the rest can walk and talk like human beings, and they're actually acting like human beings with lots of feelings and emotions. And we often see this in children's literature and fairy tales, such as Alice in Wonderland, Cinderella, and of course all the classic Disney characters. Archetype. What is an archetype exactly? Someone or something that is archetypal has the most all-around important characteristics of a particular kind of person. All around, being archetypal is being the perfect example of someone or something. A perfect example could be Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. An archetype is kind of like the reverse of a stereotype. A stereotype is when we generalize on a certain group of people. Let's say like a college sports jock. That is a stereotype. A person like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh is an archetype because he stands out more as a different, more depressed individual and person. And the least and final here is the everyman. And what is an everyman exactly? The everyman is a character. He's a person that appears in maybe in movies, television shows, and literatures. The everyman's role is based of being kind of like a relatable person. Every person can kind of relate to him because he's thinking more like a human, unlike the rest. It is very often that the audience are mostly attached to the everyman. That the often audience can imagine themselves in the same situation as the everyman, and without having to possess knowledge to figure out what the whole film/subject is about. The everyman explains the plot throughout the story to the audience. The everyman is often being the main character or a very important character in the plot. And the perfect example of an everyman/main character/narrator could be Ted Evelyn Mosby from the American sitcom How I Met Your Mother. And the reason why I have chosen Ted to be the perfect example is because Ted is narrating the story of how he met the mother of his children in 2030. And the story goes into a flashback and starts in 2005. Without Ted as the everyman to ease things up for us, we could be lost in the whole concept of the show. Because when you think about it, the show is very complicated set up. Such things as skipping back and forth in time and multiple plot twists throughout the show can make the audience be very confused if we didn't have the everyman to explain things and to ease things up for us. And he is, of course, explaining the long and complicated story to his children. Therefore, are we in the same booth as them, and we're also getting the story explained by a narrator, which is Ted Mosby. And what exactly mean as we're in the same booth as them is because it's kind of like he's telling the story to his children, but again, we are in the same booth as them because we are also getting the story explained at the same time, and therefore we yeah, we are kind of like his children We are in the same booth as them. We are falling up exactly at the same point that they are in the story. And yeah, that was what I had.